Franklin comes into this game with a record of 1-2-1, having tied their first game against Oliver Ames. Their one win comes against Foxborough, and then their losses are against St. John's Prep. Taunton, unfortunately, comes into this game with all losses. They're hoping to reverse their fortunes in that regard, but their losses come against Durfee, Foxborough, New Bedford, Attleboro, and North Attleboro. So both teams having slightly rocky starts to their season so far, and it's only been about 2 weeks since the start of it. But nonetheless, both teams are ready to go as the kickoff goes. Taunton kicking it deep into Franklin defensive territory. Taunton with the ball so far on the opposite side of the field. They get it into center almost. That ball's going to be deflected out of bounds. It'll be Franklin throw-in. Couple of headers. Goalkeeper rolls it out to number 6, Zach O'Mahony O'Sullivan. And Taunton with possession here as Franklin tries to steal the ball away, getting it through some Taunton traffic here. Taunton taking it right back. And so back over to the opposite side of the field. Some miscommunication right there. Franklin bringing it upfield. Taunton initially steals it away, but Franklin takes it right back. That's number 5, Josh Rappa. That ball's going to be lost out of bounds. It'll be Taunton throw-in. A big kick that goes up to midfield. Couple of headers. Franklin settles the ball down, and their own big boot that goes up to Taunton was considering trying to let their goalie take that, but Franklin right on their case, so they just kick it sideways and out of bounds. Franklin with the throw-in. Taunton trying to clear it out. That's going to be knocked down by a Franklin offensive player. Franklin just able to keep that ball in bounds. Franklin rushing through. And Taunton kicking it away. And that's going to be a Franklin corner kick. First corner kick of the game. Ooh, I take that back. That was actually a throw-in. I didn't see where the ball rolled out of bounds. No, my mistake. Yes, it will be a corner. I jumped a little too far ahead there. So a corner kick. Doesn't go too high up. Taunton able to head it away. Franklin trying to maneuver the ball through traffic. Number 22, Will McCauley. And now Taunton bringing it back. Franklin number 2, Henry George, looking for a call there, but he doesn't get one. Taunton trying to get it to an open player. They do. Franklin just continuing to apply the pressure here. As Franklin gets it past midfield, but Taunton defense, again, just right on their tail. Number 10, Andre Massagia. Nice little boot right there, and a header from Taunton. Taunton gets it past midfield again, and the ball is headed away to the goalkeeper. Rolled out, Kick back to the goalkeeper. Franklin tries to get it past midfield, and they do. That's going to be kicked over to the left side of the field. That's Will McCauley with the ball. As he tries to find an open player, he gets it to Ruju Aiden. And a penalty on the Panthers, so this is going to be a Taunton free kick, my mistake. Here's the kick. Gets past midfield, especially with a header by Taunton. And Taunton not quite able to keep that ball in bounds, so it's going to be a Franklin throw-in. Couple of Franklin players get sorted through to deal with the throw-in. And that's a deep throw-in. Whew. And McCauley tries to head the ball over the Taunton goalkeeper, but not quite high enough. And that kick by Taunton does not go nearly as far as they would have liked. And a big boot there by number 10, Andre Masagia. So a penalty again by Franklin is going to result in another free kick at roughly the 10-yard line. Laser shot of a kick there. As Taunton tries to cross the field with that one. Just trying to keep it away from the Franklin defense. Franklin able to steal that ball away fairly easily, I might add, by McCauley. Taunton takes it right back. Try to get that ball into some open space, but unfortunately for Taunton, he did have two Franklin defenders around him. So with Franklin keeping Taunton at bay with that ball, it's going to result in a goal kick for the Panthers. Just under 33 minutes. We are scoreless here, as Franklin is about to have their first goal kick. Big boot there. Taunton switching fields with that one. They keep it on the far side of the field. Navigating it. Almost double teamed there. They get the ball into center field. But again, Taunton working with some heavy traffic here. They try to keep, as Franklin tries to keep it away from Taunton, but Taunton, a little bit of pushing around, but that's going to be a Taunton throw-in. And a dangerous bicycle kick right there. That's going to result in a penalty. Free kick there for the Panthers. Bicycle kicks like that can be used in safe conditions. Unfortunately for Taunton, that was not one of them. As Franklin, number 5, Josh Rappa, keeps the ball away from Taunton. Taunton knocks it out, and it's a throw-in for the Panthers. Deep throw-in. But the Taunton goalkeeper is right there. Bigger boot than what he had to deal with last time. Couple of headers. Taunton keeping the ball settled. Ooh, good intentions right there, but McCauley is right there to steal that ball away. Taunton kicking it right back. Both teams playing tight D here. Again, a lot of back and forth going on here as Franklin tries to keep the ball away from the Taunton defense. Big kick right there that's going to go far beyond out of bounds. So Taunton throw in. I'd like to thank you viewers at home for watching, at home and abroad for watching this game on Franklin Pride TV, both on cable and on YouTube. This is Chris Fing bringing you the call for the game and live broadcast. Fairly cloudy day here at Franklin's Piscini Stadium. But it's comfortable here. As the summer weather is starting to slowly fade away at this point in the month of September. Josh Rappa with a throw in right there. Franklin trying to play it safe here as McCauley cannot get the ball past the Taunton defense. Great opportunity there for a shot on net. That kick is going to be just wide of the Taunton net. So a couple of scoring opportunities there. Franklin able to capitalize on one of them, but it does not result in a goal for the Panthers yet. So Taunton with the goal kick. Another nice boot right there. Gonna take a bounce, and Taunton with possession as they send that ball upfield. Franklin number 13, Luke Fallen. Gently pushes that ball out of bounds as Taunton tries to center the ball after the throw-in. Franklin sending it upfield again. Jax Poverman. Ooh, and a big kick there by the Panthers, and a header from Taunton that's going to send that ball out of bounds again. Franklin with another big throw-in. McCauley is right there, but so is his Taunton defenseman. Franklin chasing that ball down. Taunton's going to let it just roll out of bounds, so that'll be a goal kick for them. So 27:40 left to go in the first half, still scoreless. Franklin continuing to put the pressure on the Taunton Tigers. They've only had one really good shot on net so far. As Taunton tries to send this ball midfield, that's going to be a penalty by the Panthers at the roughly 50-yard point. So Taunton with a free kick. As all the players from both teams get themselves set up right in front of the box. Franklin with a header. And another penalty, this time again called for a high foot after Taunton tries to kick the ball away from the Franklin defense. Franklin trying to get it to McCauley, but again, Taunton knocks it away. Taunton with a header right there. Zach O'Sullivan. Franklin with the ball. They get it, not quite able to keep that ball in bounds. So Franklin with the ball here. That's number 24, Cam Lambert. As Taunton sends it back upfield. Franklin with the ball. Josh Rappa. Franklin keeping it centered. Ooh, Taunton steals it right away there. And Franklin steals it right back. As Franklin continues to try to keep it away from Taunton, they send it upfield. Taunton knocks it away. And had it gotten to him, number 24, Cam Lambert, would have been right there ready for it. So a Franklin throw-in. And that is number 20, Ethan, with a throw-in for the Panthers. Another deep throw. And unfortunately for the Panthers, another penalty. That's going to send the ball back to Taunton's possession. Ooh, it's actually going to be a throw-in. Refs must not have liked the Franklin throw-in, so Franklin with possession as they deliver that ball to McCauley, but again, Taunton is right there. Big kick right there by number 5, Josh Rappa, but it's going to be blocked away by the goalie. Franklin maintaining possession here, working through some tight D here. And Franklin just trying to getting it into some open space right there, which they do. That's number 6, Zach Sullivan. Zach O'Mahony Sullivan. And after the throw-in, Franklin trying to keep it away from Taunton, as has been the case for the entirety of this first half so far. Ball's going to be sent back to Casey Flynn, goalkeeper for the Panthers. Flynn hasn't been challenged too much yet, and he's probably thankful for that to a degree. A nice header there by Lambert. As Franklin just is able to keep it in bounds, it's going to be knocked away by Taunton, and a throw-in by Rappa. Franklin with their best chance yet, and they get it in. That is number 22, Will McCauley. Will McCauley is finally able to get that ball past the goalkeeper for Taunton, and that's going to put Franklin up by a score of 1-0. If you want to get soccer technical, Jay Horgan, if you're watching this game, that was all for you. So Franklin continuing to put the pressure on Taunton, and it finally pays off with 22:45 left to go in the first half. Score is now 1-0. And Taunton with another big kick up the opposite side of the field. That one's going to go out of bounds. Good kick, but way too strong. As Franklin tries to keep it away from a Taunton defenseman. Taunton doing very much the same thing as they get that ball centered up, but it's going to be almost taken away by number 3, Araju Aiden. And Ethan Pramad will give the throw-in. Franklin moving the ball into some open space, sending that ball upfield, but that's going to go sideways out of bounds. Taunton throw-in. Taunton looking for an open player. And the throw-in. Number 7, Jason Prowanka chases that ball down. Flynn with a low hitting kick. McCauley tries to get it to teammate Ethan Herndon, number 20. And Taunton again racing this ball up the opposite side of the field. He's going to be working through some heavy traffic here. Franklin taking the ball away. And I'm sure that one Taunton player is wondering why there was no call on the play, and he was slow to get up, but seems to be doing okay now as Taunton tries to keep the ball away from the Franklin defense. Taunton with a shot on net, but that's going to be wide of the net, so that's going to result in a Franklin goal kick. Franklin bringing a couple of subs in. We've got number 12, Sam Gurney, out on field, and number 19, Matthew McNeil, as Flynn delivers the goal kick. Taunton running and jumping for that one, but it's too high even for them. Taunton, woo. Little bit of a slip right there by Ethan Herndon. Hopefully he's able to laugh at himself at that one after this game is done. Wound up slipping as he was getting ready to take the throw in initially. Taunton with the header as they try to get it out of their defensive zone. This is going to be another Franklin throw-in. This time by Luke Follin. Oop, it's going to be handed off to, I believe that's number 2, Henry George. Taunton, well, Franklin assumed that Taunton was going to try to kick that ball, give a big boot to that one. But Taunton fixed him out. Throw-in by the Panthers. Taunton with the ball as they try to switch fields with that. Taunton trying to keep the ball away, getting the ball into some open space. They're just barely able to, but Franklin's right there for that. That's Cam Lambert again. Number 20, Ethan Herndon. As Franklin tries to navigate the ball through heavy Taunton traffic here. That's a free ball. And Taunton's just going to let it roll out of bounds. I was curious to see if it was going to stop rolling right at the line, but nope. Luckily for Taunton's sake, it rolls completely out of bounds, so this results in a goal kick. Taunton with the kick. Bounces over a couple of players on both teams. That ball is going to be deflected. Stays in bounds. And Taunton with the ball in center field as they mount another attack. But again, they're going to be working through some heavy Franklin traffic here as they center the ball up, but Franklin's there to steal that ball away. Taunton working through it, but Franklin knocks it back out to midfield. Big boot right here. And a header. Franklin with the ball as they try to keep that ball away from Taunton, but Taunton takes it right back. Ooh, a big kick. That's gonna be blocked away by the Taunton player right there. That's walking alongside Ethan Pramad, number 11. And a big kick there by Casey Flynn. As Taunton takes possession. Both teams chasing this one down. Franklin comes up with it. Taunton sending it back downfield. Header and a kick. Taunton again sending the ball back. This is going to be ruled a Taunton penalty, so it'll be a Franklin free kick at roughly the 15-yard line. And Flynn wasting no time taking that kick. McCauley. That ball's going to be chased out of bounds, so it will be and we'll find out who the throw-in is going to be for as Franklin brings in a couple of new players. It'll be a Franklin throw-in. Number 20, Ethan Herndon. Gets that to center field, but it's going to be headed away by Taunton. Franklin with possession. They've got Taunton right on their tail. As Franklin tries to keep the ball just in open space. Centering pass. Taunton's right there to knock it away twice. And again, another cross-field pass right here. Taunton chasing this ball down. And that shot is going to go right to Flynn. Flynn was ready for that. Franklin's defense was right on Taunton's tail. Taunton hoping to get something else going here. No call there as the Taunton player goes down. Franklin moving the ball to center field. Oh, a good idea there, and that pass was by number 19, Matthew McNeil, and I think that he expected Ethan Herndon to move over to that side of the field, but unfortunately for McNeil, that's not what happened. So Franklin number 3, Aruju Aiden, chasing that ball down, but it's going to be a Taunton throw-in. 13:48 left to go in the first half. Franklin maintaining a 1-0 lead here. As Franklin settles the ball down. It's going to be another Franklin free kick. And a timeout is going to be called by the Panthers. So there has been a lot of back and forth in this game. And shots on net have been dominated by Franklin in this first half, but Taunton has been, for the most part, holding their own, especially on the defensive side. So again, we thank you viewers at home and abroad for tuning into this boys varsity soccer match on Franklin Pride TV, both on cable and on YouTube. This game will mark the first half of the week for Franklin Panther sports. Thursday we'll have another soccer game, and then Friday is the football team's big matchup against Brockton High School. And Franklin TV will be there to cover that game, so you can look forward to what's going to be a very fun football matchup between those two teams. And here for boys soccer, the lone goal scored by number 22, Will McCauley. And he's been wanting to bury that ball in the Taunton net all game long, essentially. So finally able to get that ball past the Taunton goalie. And that's where we're at right now at the 1-0 lead. As we now come out of the timeout. And Taunton's goalie, to his credit, he's been keeping Franklin at bay, as has the Taunton defense. Both teams' defenses have been quick to get on the opposing player's tail. So Casey Flynn ready to take the free kick for the Panthers right here. Whistle blows and gameplay is about to resume. And a big boot there by Flynn. Both teams chasing this one down. And it is going to be called a Taunton ball. Jake Boyd, number 15, he was chasing that ball down as well. Free kick for Taunton. And a nice header there by number 18, Ben Whipfler. Some fancy footwork there on Taunton's part. Taunton tries to settle the ball down. Ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. Taunton throw in. So Taunton throwing at roughly the 45-yard line. Nice header, but that unfortunately for Taunton is going to go right to a Taunton player. Taunton trying to get a centering pass right there, and Flynn is right there for it. Loses control initially, but he is able to chase the ball down. 12 minutes left to go in the first half. Franklin holding on to a 1-0 lead here. Ooh, that ball's going to be lost to Taunton as Taunton just tries to get the ball into some open space. They do so. Ball on the opposite side of the field. Ball knocked out of bounds by Franklin. Throw in. Franklin chasing that ball down. Taunton trying to keep the ball in bounds, and they do. And a boot to center field. Taunton trying to keep the ball in bounds, and they do. They get it to some open space again. And a nice attempt at a header right there. Both teams chasing this one down. Franklin comes up with it. Franklin getting that ball into some open space, and they've got plenty of space to work with, especially now that they've chased the ball past the Taunton defense initially. Taunton not able to keep that ball in bounds, so it's going to be a Franklin throw-in by number 2, George. Thought it was going to be George Henry throwing the ball in, but I could be wrong with that. Throw-in. And another deep throw-in for the Panthers. Franklin with time. Number 17, Jax Poverman. Number 13, Luke Fallon. Nice move right here is number 2, George Henry. Now he sends it upfield. But it's going to get too far ahead of number 17, Jax Poverman, for Poverman to keep that ball in bounds. So that's going to be a Taunton goal kick. Clock continuing to run here. As Franklin is able to steal that ball away. Ooh. Taunton takes it right back. And Taunton just racing that ball down. As Franklin steals it back, they try to get it away from Taunton's defense. Ooh. An unfortunate deflection there by a Panther teammate. As Ton tries to do a centering pass, but it's going to be no Ton player in front of the Franklin net, so that's where we are here as Franklin continues to move this ball up to center field. Number 15, Jake Boyd, gets it to number 10, Andre Massagia. And a nice header there by the Tigers. As Franklin retrieves possession, Josh Rappa sends it up. Ooh, and number 17, Jax Pofferman, could have been right there, but so was the Taunton goalie. So, Taunton looking for an open player. Nice big boot. Franklin with the ball on the opposite side of the field as they try to keep it away from Taunton, but not quite able to. Ooh, and a little goof up there by Taunton's offensive line gives possession back to the Panthers. This will be a Franklin throw-in. And Franklin chasing this ball down, but it's going to be headed away. And both teams fighting for this one. Franklin comes up with it. That ball gets a little too far ahead of that ball gets a little too far ahead of number 15, Jake Boyd. As Taunton again tries to bring the ball downfield. And still on the opposite side of the field, centering pass right there is going to be knocked down by Franklin. A little bit of horseplay, but thankfully nothing bad. As Taunton tries to get it by Franklin's defense. And a kick right there is going to be blocked away. And that block is going to result in a Taunton corner kick. Taunton's first corner kick of the game. Both teams substitute out a couple of players. 6:20 left to go in the first half. Taunton with an opportunity to even the score up here. And that ball might have been knocked down by a Taunton player, but it's going to roll just past the right post of the Franklin goal, and that's going to be a Franklin goal kick. Casey Flynn to deliver the kick. Big kick that's going to be initially headed backwards by Taunton. Pofferman chasing this ball down. Pofferman chasing that ball down hard, but number 3, Arujio Aiden, helping out with that one. Franklin getting this ball into some open space. George Henry with possession here as he gets it back to Aiden. Oop, that's actually number 7, Jason Proenza. Taunton trying to take this ball upfield. As they send that ball upfield, Franklin just knocking it out of bounds. That's number 13, Luke Fallen. Fallen chasing this ball down. Here comes another Panther. That's number 5, Josh Rappa. Taunton able to keep it away from Franklin. Franklin sending it upfield. After that initial steal, a backwards header by Taunton. Proenka, he's going to send it to Flynn, and Flynn with a big boot. He's going to bring the ball up to half midfield. Franklin sending it upfield, but Taunton's right there. Franklin stealing the ball away. And Deacon Eglinton. He was a little surprised that he had so much room to work with there. Oh, and that's going to be an offside call. That was number 10, Andre Massagia. Ooh, that big boot there by Taunton, and a big header to boot. Franklin chasing the ball down. They kick it out of bounds. That's going to go just past. That's going to go just past the fence. But thankfully, there's an opening in the fence right there for Franklin to chase that ball down. Gameplay resumes. Taunton right there to try to center this play up. Ooh, centering play right there. Possibly could have gotten a shot on net. A header is going to go up and over the top post, the overhead post of the Franklin net. Franklin goal kick. Casey Flynn again to take the goal kick for the Panthers. Franklin making the substitution. Flynn with the kick. McCauley encouraged to send the ball upfield. Sam Gurney has the ball knocked away. Josh Rappa with the throw in. We are at the 2-minute mark. So clock is stopped at this point. Game time now is controlled by the refs. Big shot on net, but that's going to be way wide of the Taunton net. So that will result in a Taunton goal kick. Taunton with the boot. Franklin with a header to try to keep that ball in bounds. It's going to be knocked out, and that's going to be a Taunton throw in. Taunton just trying their best to keep it away from the Franklin D as they try to move it upfield. Loose ball. Franklin is able to send it back upfield. They get that ball into some open space. Franklin chasing it down. They're not going to be able to keep it in bounds, though. A good effort there by Will McCauley to try to chase that ball down. Taunton moving it into some open space, but it goes to a Franklin player. Franklin sends it upfield. Will McCauley right there. He's not afraid of the contest there, Will McCauley. Taunton taking the ball right back. And that double whistle is going to mark the end of the first half. So a lot of back and forth gameplay during this first half, but Franklin is the one on top with a 1-0 lead against the Taunton Tigers. Taunton doing what they can to try to get the ball by the Franklin defense, but Franklin's not giving them any wiggle room. So with that being said, we are in a halftime right now, so we'll be back in a few minutes for the start of the second half. Stay tuned. Welcome back, fans, to the second half of this boys varsity soccer matchup between your Franklin Panthers and the visiting Taunton Tigers. Franklin will be starting off the second half with a 1-0 lead over the Taunton Tigers. A lot of back and forth during that first half, but it is Franklin that has the lead right now. Franklin has been able to keep Taunton's shot opportunities at bay for the most part. And here we go. Oh, a nice boot there by Casey Flynn. As Franklin tries to move the ball upfield. We have clearly swapped sides. Franklin trying to send the ball upfield, but Taunton's going to boot it out of bounds, so it is a Franklin throw-in. Ethan Herndon with the throw-in, number 20. And a header by Taunton. It's going to send the ball into some open space. Franklin trying to settle it down, get it to an open player. It's going to go to a Taunton player. Ooh, that ball's going to be stolen away. But not before Franklin is going to be called for a small penalty right there. So Taunton with a free kick at about the 26-yard line. And a nice boot. And Franklin tries to center the ball down, get it into some open space. Open space is a soccer player's best friend. Taunton maneuvering the ball to the near sideline, keeping it in bounds. That ball is going to be... Ooh, there's one Taunton player fighting for it. Ooh, and that kick is going to be blocked by number 3, Aruju Aiden. Franklin keeping the ball in bounds. Nice big boot right there. Number 17, Jax Poverman. Ooh, and he's going to be... Not sure if he was knocked down or what, but Poverman did fall to the ground for a second, but he's back up and running. Literally back up and running. As Aiden tries to get the ball to a teammate. Franklin settles it down. Number 10, Andre Masaja. Gets it to a defenseman. That defenseman tries to send a ground level ball upfield. So Taunton's starting to apply some pressure of their own. Taunton able to maintain possession for the most part, dealing with all that Franklin traffic. One Franklin player was looking for a penalty right there, but he doesn't get it. Taunton number 11 brings the ball towards center field. And a big boot right there that's going to be way, way wide of the Franklin net. So a goal kick for Franklin, but low-level kick there by Flynn. Taunton trying to bring the ball, navigating it past the Franklin D. Shot on net, that's going to be wide. So Flynn ready for the kick. Ooh, a nice kick, nice attempted pass right there is going to be blocked away by Franklin as Ethan Herndon tries to get a shot, but that one's going to be wide of the Taunton net. So a Taunton goal kick. So a big kick there by Taunton is going to be headed down by the Panthers. Probably the biggest thing that these two teams have in common today is just the quickness of their defense. Both teams are just sprinting every time to get to the ball. Throw in by the Tigers. Both teams fighting for that one. That ball is going to be rolled out of bounds. And a Franklin player is down. Franklin's sideline not really too thrilled that the ref didn't call a penalty there. Trainer Jen Edmonds approaching the player, who seems to be working his way towards being able to sit upright. He was lying down on his stomach initially, but he was able to slowly get himself to sit up on the field. And he is able to walk off the field on his own, which is awesome. Always good to see that, regardless of which team the player is on. And I believe that was number 6, Zach O'Mahony Sullivan. So Casey Flynn to deliver the goal kick. As we get ready, as we await the referee whistle. We've got both refs on the opposite side of the field at roughly midfield. And understandably so, Coach Nick Goldman was not too thrilled that that Taunton wasn't given a penalty for whatever it is that happened to O'Mahony Sullivan. And Taunton's coach might have been a little irritated with that play too, because both teams were fighting to try to get to the ball before it rolled out of bounds. And while it was ultimately, excuse me, while it was ultimately O'Mahony Sullivan who fell to the ground, Taunton wasn't really too thrilled with how that played out either. So both refs still having a conversation on the on the scoreboard side of the field. And this conversation is taking a while. So it looks like so both teams are going to huddle together at this point as the refs now chat with Coach Nick Goldman. With 33 minutes left to go in the game. Franklin still leads this match by a score of 1-0. And again, we thank you viewers at home and abroad for tuning into this boys varsity soccer match on Franklin Pride TV, both on cable and on YouTube. Franklin's ready to get back into action, as is Taunton. And the sun fighting its way out onto the field here. So it is still going to be a goal kick for the Panthers. Flynn with the kick. And then it's going to go out of bounds near the scoreboard, so that'll be a Taunton throw-in. Taunton trying to steal this ball back. And Franklin again just playing very tight D here. This is number 13, Luke Fallen. Taunton chasing the ball down as they work it through Franklin's defense. Taunton attempting a centering pass. Franklin's going to kick it out. McCauley chasing that ball down. He keeps it in bounds. Taunton trying to send it back. So both teams just continuing to play very tight D here as Franklin now tries to send it downfield. Nice play to an open player, but that ball is going to go right to the Taunton goalie. Taunton with a kick right there, boots it up past the 50-yard line. Looks like Franklin's just playing a little game of ping pong right here, but they are just trying to keep it away from the Taunton defense as both teams continue to chase the ball down. Taunton comes up with it. That ball is going to be knocked away by the Panthers, so that's going to result in a corner kick for, I believe it's a corner kick. Yes, it's a corner kick for Taunton. So second corner kick for the Taunton Tigers. Taunton has a chance to capitalize. See if they're able to even the scoring up here. And that shot attempt is going to come up flat for the Tigers as Franklin is able to head that ball out and then kick it out. Franklin with possession as they keep it on keep the ball on the far side of the field, but it's going to roll out of bounds. Taunton throw in. Taunton gets that ball into some open space on the near side of the field, but Franklin very quick to chase it down. And a nice boot right there, and that's going to easily be handled by Casey Flynn. He's just going to roll it off to a teammate. But Taunton not wasting too much time. Nice header right there, but that's going to go out of bounds. Franklin throw in. And Franklin also making a couple of substitutions here. So Franklin with the throw in. Nice control of the ball there after the throw in. Franklin trying to get it to an open player. They do. They try to send it to across the field. Ooh, Taunton's going to knock that ball away, but it's going to go out of bounds, so that's going to be another Franklin throw in. .28 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the half, and thus the game. A powerful, powerful throw in right there. It's going to go. It's going to bounce just past the Taunton goal. Taunton goal had to reach his arm out to make sure that the ball didn't get by him, but luckily for him, it's going to wind up bouncing past the goal post and out of bounds. So Taunton goal kick. As Taunton tries to center the ball, doing so again. Ooh, that's going to be a little trip up. Thankfully, he's able to get up and walk it off after the initial shock. So a free kick right here for the Panthers. Nice leaping header right there, a couple of them. Ground level kick right there, but that's going to go right to the Taunton goalie. And that kick is going to go out of bounds. Franklin throw in. And Taunton just barely able to keep that ball in bounds. Good effort on his part. As Taunton tries to get the ball to an open player, they are able to. And now Taunton bringing the ball up on the near side of the field, trying to get by the Franklin defense. A lot of traffic right there. That ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. That's going to be a Taunton corner kick. So Taunton with another opportunity to capitalize here and put a goal on the board if they can break through Franklin's defenses. Franklin's still holding on to a 1-0 lead here. And that kick is going to go over everything and everyone. Franklin's just going to let that ball roll out of bounds. So another Franklin substitution going on. The throw in. Taunton heads it right back. Taunton chasing this ball down, but Franklin able to maintain possession. And now Taunton sends it back to their goalie. That's going to be a Taunton free kick. Not sure what that call was for, but Taunton gets it to a teammate. They just continue to move the ball upfield. Franklin taking it back really, really easily. Franklin chasing this ball down. Oh, a nice attempt at a pass right there, but that ball's going to go a little too far ahead. Taunton's goalie is right there, as was Will McCauley, but Taunton gets to it before he can. This is going to be a Franklin throw-in. Taunton was a little confused by that call. Oh, it's a Franklin free kick. And a big boot right there. It's going to be headed back by Taunton again as they try to kick it out of their defensive zone. Little bit of a legal horseplay right there. Some light pushing around, but nothing bad. Under 22 minutes left to go in the game. And Taunton trying to work themselves through the Franklin defense. It's going to stay Franklin possession. Taunton throw-in. Ball is going to be headed out, so it's going to stay Taunton possession. Taunton with a kick right there, and they're going to get it into the net. So Taunton finally scoring the equalizer. They get the ball by Casey Flynn. And with 20 minutes and 27 seconds left in the game, score is now tied up at 1. So this game has gotten a little bit more interesting right now. Taunton with the throw-in. Ooh, a penalty on the Panthers is going to result in a Taunton free kick. Franklin with a header as they try to settle the ball down. Taunton chasing just keeping the ball down. Nice pass up the field. Number 20. Taunton with possession here as they try to get the ball to center field. Moving it again to an open player. And Franklin doing their best to try to keep. Ooh, players just falling down to the ground, left this way and that. This is going to be a Franklin free kick. And Casey Flynn not wasting any time sending that ball downfield. Taunton with a big kick to send the ball back upfield. It's going to be kicked out of bounds. It'll be a Franklin throw-in. Franklin maneuvering the ball past the Taunton defense. And a big kick right there. It's going to be blocked away by the Taunton goalie. So that will result in another corner for the Franklin Panthers. Franklin with a chance to regain the 1-point lead. Nice kick and a header that's going to go way wide of the Taunton net. So 17:20 left to go in the second period, in the second half. Franklin with a header there that's going to be settled down by Taunton. Both teams fighting for this one as ball is going to be kicked out of bounds. Loose ball. Both teams chasing this one down. Taunton gets in front of it. That ball is going to be ruled Franklin ball. And that ball is almost headed into the goal, but the Taunton goalie is right there. Taunton getting that ball a little too far ahead of themselves as Flynn rolls it away. Taunton chasing that ball down very, very quickly, but Franklin kicks the ball away. Ooh, that's going to be a trip, but no call. So the refs apparently just letting the boys play at this point. Haven't really seen anything super egregious happening out here. Taunton with the ball. As they get that ball ahead of the Franklin defense, he had a huge line. He had a long line of Franklin players nearly surrounding him. Franklin gets the ball away. Taunton with possession. They get it into some open space. And working it past the Franklin defense, but that's going to roll out of bounds. So Franklin ball. Franklin with a fresh line of substitutions. Franklin throw-in. It's a high and deep throw. As Franklin tries to settle it down. Again, keeping it to open space here, but Taunton chasing it down. They get the ball to Casey Flynn, who passes it right back upfield. Franklin sending it upfield. Number 5, Josh Rappa, would have been safe. And we got ourselves another Franklin corner kick. So 13-11 left to go in the game. Score is all tied up at 1. Ethan Herndon with the kick. And that ball is going to go, that header is going to go up and over the top of the Taunton net. So another goal, so another corner kick. That ball was headed out of bounds by a Taunton player. Another chance at a shot on net. That one's going to go up and over everyone. Franklin chasing it down, but it's going to roll out of bounds. Franklin with possession here. Oh, but they don't have anyone to focus the ball. Taunton works that ball past the Franklin defense, but both teams just continuing to play tight D all throughout this game. It's been impressive. Herndon with a shot, with a centering pass. Ooh, and a nice big kick there by George Henry. Is powerful kick, but unfortunately for Henry, for George, it's going to go up and over the Franklin net instead of having a wide open net. So Taunton with a goal kick here. Nice boot there. And an equally nice header. Arujo Aiden passes the ball over to the far side of the field. That ball's going to go out of bounds. Franklin throwing. Oh, that ball's going to be ruled out of bounds. So Taunton throwing now. Head ball as Franklin tries to center the play. They get it into some open space. Taunton's goalie is right there for that one. big kick right here. Panthers chasing this one down. Just barely. Oh, not quite able. Ooh, it is able to. They are able to keep it in bounds. Nice header. And another. Centering play right there. Ooh, and that ball's going to roll just by the Franklin net. Casey Flynn taking a necessary risk chasing that ball down, but ooh, it's going to be ruled a corner kick. So that play is going to be ruled a corner kick. Flynn may have possibly touched it before the ball went out of bounds. I'm not entirely sure, but and I didn't see who kicked it last, so Taunton with an opportunity to take the lead with this corner kick. A big header that sends it right back to where it came from, nearly. That ball will no doubt be kicked out of bounds by Taunton. So, goal kick for the Panthers. Flynn ready for the kick. Taunton able to settle the ball down, but Franklin trying to take the possession back. They're able to slip it by Taunton's defense right there. Keeping it in bounds. They are able to as they center the ball up. Oh, Franklin cannot capitalize on that play right there. Another good opportunity. But it gets too far ahead of them. So that's going to be a Taunton goal kick. Under 8 minutes left to go in the game. And the kick. Taunton bringing this ball down to the Franklin net. Franklin just able to get the ball out of their defensive zone. Ball's going to be kicked out of bounds by Taunton. That ball's going to be headed away, but Taunton goalie comes out to snatch it up. When a header winds up going into the Taunton player's torso, but Franklin throw-in. That's number 11, Ethan Pramad. 6.5 minutes left to go in the game. Oh, it is now going to be number 20, Ethan Herndon. A nice throw-in by Herndon. Kicked out of Taunton's defensive zone. Woo! Wow. Timeout is going to be called by the refs. And Taunton a little bewildered as to why they were called for that penalty. little bit of misfortune for them as Franklin gears up for a free kick right here. Nice centering kick, and Franklin is able to get the ball in. Once again, it is number 22, Will McCauley. McCauley's teammates congratulating him on the back line of the field. As that shot in net by McCauley allows Franklin to regain the 1-point lead and make the score 2-1 with 5:54 left to go in the game. This has been a low-scoring game. And Casey Flynn just grabbing that ball and then diving on top of it. Dropping on top of it, really. Flynn kicks it out, gets it to midfield. So Franklin with the ball. Under 5.5 minutes left to go in the game. Ooh. Ethan Herndon tries to get that by a Taunton defender. Unable to do so. And now Taunton bringing the ball down. Franklin knocks the ball out of bounds. That'll be a Taunton throw-in. Taunton more than eager to try to, once again, equalize the game here. If they're able to, they certainly have the time for it, even though the clock has now stopped at the 5-minute mark. Game time is controlled by the refs. Franklin takes possession. Oop, but that ball's going to be stolen away by Taunton. Taunton with a kick right there. That's going to be deflected out of bounds by Franklin. That's going to result in another corner. So Taunton possibly with one of their last few opportunities to capitalize. Nice header right there. The Taunton player being in the right place at the right time, but the header is going to go right to Casey Flynn. He passes it on to a teammate, and Franklin sends it upfield. Franklin takes that ball back as they try to keep it away from Taunton's defense. Franklin keeping it away from Taunton's defense. They knock it back. And now Taunton tries to send it upfield, but it's taken back by the Panthers. So Taunton with the ball. The kick right there, that probably wasn't as strong as the kicker would have liked it to be. That ball's going to be wide of the Taunton net, just wide. So with only a minute or two left to go in this game, Franklin now hanging on to a 2-1 lead. Taunton with a nice big kick that goes out to center field. That kick does not go the way that Franklin would have liked it to. So the name of the game throughout this entire soccer match has virtually been both teams' defense and their incredible speed. Franklin throw-in. Oop, that ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. It's going to be Taunton throw-in. Taunton looking for an open throw. They find it. Franklin just gets it back to Flynn. They get it to an open player. And they're just going to do what they can to kill the clock while keeping it going to open players. That's going to be headed down by Taunton. Franklin throw-in. Luke Folan with the throw-in. That's a strong throw-in from Folan. And as Folan with the... Oop, Folan nearly loses control of the ball. And he does wind up doing so. Taunton steals it away from them. Franklin able to keep that ball in bounds. Nice centering play, but it gets a little too far behind its intended recipient, who was Jax Poverman. Franklin sending that kick back. Franklin giving that kick a little boost. Ooh, that little play there might have been a little too much for Franklin to be able to handle. So Taunton with the ball. That ball is going to be inadvertently knocked down by a Taunton player. Franklin sending it upfield. Pofferman. Pofferman knows he doesn't need to do much here. He just has to kill the clock at this point. Franklin hanging on to a 2-1 lead here, with probably seconds left to go in this game. That ball is going to be booted out. Franklin with the ball, trying to keep it away from Taunton. Franklin nearly tripped up. Yeah, they know they have seconds left to go on the clock here. So a Taunton goal kick. Taunton with a kick. And a nice big header to try to send that ball back, but Franklin again continuing to bring it back. That ball is going to roll out of bounds, so Taunton throw-in. Or Franklin throw-in, my mistake. Oh, it is going to be a Taunton throw. Taunton with a kick to try to send the ball upfield. Franklin knocks it out of bounds. It's going to stay Taunton ball. Both teams chasing this ball down. Franklin able to keep it in bounds. Franklin trying to lead. And a shot on net that's going to be wide of the Taunton net. Loose ball. Franklin comes up with it. And a double whistle, and the game is over. So as has been stated throughout the course of this match, the defense was the name of the game for both teams. And that's effectively what kept Taunton in this game. Franklin having more shot opportunities than Taunton had, but nonetheless, Taunton was able to keep this from being a shutout victory for the Panthers. But Franklin is able to